Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, stud reversal. Now, there's tons of different ways to do stud reversal in Lego, but I'm going to talk specifically about a certain type of stud reversal, and that is no illegal building techniques and only using plates and tiles. Now, I'm sure if you've been around Lego enough or watched enough Lego videos on YouTube, you've heard of things like the bucket handle method, completely illegal and super effective, where you can take two plates, stick bucket handles between them, and do a stud reversal, just like that. I'm sure you've heard of the cheese slope method, where you can stick cheese slopes just ever so nicely in the corners of a plate. You can put a plate on top, although I don't recommend this because this gap is more than a plate distance, so it's going to throw all your math off. But you can put a brick on top, nice and flush. Or you can use big double cheese slopes to make a real wide one. All these techniques, I think most people would agree, are illegal, although super effective. But I'm going to show you some alternatives to that. I got thinking last night, how can I make stud reversal with just using plate? This was the first one I made. It's completely filled out, and it only uses plates and tiles. I do have some bricks in here, but as we know, bricks are just 3 tiles stuck together. And you can see I call this the key method, where I just kind of made 2 pieces that fit together, and you have a stud reversal. Now, obviously, these do come apart fairly easily, so you'd have to look at the application you're using this in to see if this would work for you. Because if you have side-to-side movement, yeah, this is going to come apart with little effort. After making this one, I said, how can I make it smaller? Because this is pretty big. And next I made this one, which is essentially a little bit narrower version of the same thing. It is a little weaker because it has less connections. And the smaller these are, the more movement they have because the less friction. The more surface area you can have between bricks, the more friction, the tighter it is. So then I thought maybe I can go bigger. And what really makes this work well is going to 2 plate wide, like this. You have a ton of friction. See, I can stop this really at any given point. And it fits together like a glove. Also takes up all the space in the middle. So now I was making some progress. Really happy with what I discovered here. I'm sure someone else has done this before. I'm not claiming that I'm the first one to ever do this, by the way. But I pushed the envelope a little further. I said, okay, how can I make it thinner in this direction? Because these are real thin. Well, obviously I won't be able to get that thin, but I could probably achieve like this. And then I came up with this method. And the way I achieved this is by using these plates with 2 studs. See, in this method here, I had to use a plate and a tile, which made it thicker throughout the middle. But if I was able to use these guys, I could slide this together just like that, and I can eliminate 2 rows. So now I'm down to the same width as the brick and plate cheese slope method. Not bad. Now again, this still is stronger because this can be slid apart. The bigger we make this, the more friction it has, and makes it stronger. Let me show you. Next I came up with this one, which is essentially expanded on this, but bigger. But I gave it a stair-step pattern. So instead of just having a notch, I staggered them. The reason being is you have more surface area touching the opposing bricks, and it makes it a tighter fit. See, I can stop this anywhere in here, meaning it's nice and tight. Yes, it can still be pulled apart, but it's a good fit. So then I thought, okay, this is great and all, but it's too wide. Can I make it 1 wide and thinner? The problem is this piece was crucial to making this narrower. And this piece is unique in that it has tile on one side, plate on the other. Lego, as far as I know, doesn't make anything in 1 width that does that, except for the jumper plate. The jumper plate will do that. The problem is we can't fully fill the center because it's going to give you half plate distances. like this. Now, if having that center fully filled doesn't matter, this technique works great. We've got the width of this and the one wide of that. Not bad. There's a couple different ways you can do this, but we aren't fully filled in the center, which may or may not be okay depending on your application. Now, doing all this got me thinking. These obviously are solid in pretty much any direction. You could pull them apart if you really try. These are solid in most directions. If we look at a pair of Lego plates, there's basically 6 different ways these can move apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now this method covers all 6. This method, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 of the 6 ranges of motion won't move. 2 of them could. So again, you have to look at your application for the piece and determine if that will work. Another example, right here we have 2 plates that are stud reversed, but I just did this. Now you may say, oh, that doesn't work, that'll fall apart. It depends on the application. This could work for some things. And if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this also has 4 directions that it's totally locked out in. It's just 5 and 6. So these really are equal methods, even though this one is quite a bit simpler. So then I was thinking, how could I take this one step further to get closer to this? And the secret was combining this piece with this piece for a method that I'm going to term the pocket joint. Now this looks just like this one, except the construction is much different. I have a 2x4 plate with 2 1x2 plates on the bottom. And then I take one of these 1x4s with the smooth center and put it across like that. That creates my pocket. And then next, I take another 2x4 plate, a 1x4 plate, and I stick this guy right in the middle. And that fills my pocket. So together, these slide together perfectly. Now this will work in almost any application. I can't think of a lot of situations where a stud reversal needs to be locked in all 6 directions. Like for instance, if this was on the side of a building, you could slot this in like that and it'd be perfectly strong. As far as motions it can do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this 5 of the 6 are locked. So we've made some improvement there. I also decided to make a big version using these 2 pieces for larger plates. And it looks like this. And it's basically just a larger version. I took this large tile piece with the surrounding studs, put it on there. There's my pocket. And this guy will slide very neatly right inside of it. Really cool application. So I guess then the final piece of the puzzle was, I need to make one of these that locks in all 6 directions. Can it be done? Absolutely. The only problem is it's going to have to get larger. I came up with 2 methods to do this. One of them based on this guy, the zigzag method, and one of them based on the pocket joint. So we can take that zigzag piece and apply it to a 4x4 plate just the same, and just have those guys in the middle and lock them. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still 4 ranges of motion, but I can lock these out sides. If I pull this apart and put plates on the remaining outer portions, and then stick this down. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is locked in all 6 directions. We just had to limit the side-to-side motion. And this one here is the same as our pocket. I just did two of them in opposing directions. So one can only pull up and one can only pull down, which means neither of them, because they're attached, can pull. I'll show you how I built this. Now this you do have to assemble in a particular manner. We have the outer plate here. We have this guy and this guy going into this specific set. So we have two pocket joints. There's number one. If we flip it over, there's number two. And then we stick our outer plate on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one solid piece. I hope you guys found this information useful. I had a lot of fun making these and kind of doing a little brain exercise with this. And I didn't know there were so many ways you could do stud reversal with simply plates and tiles. If you guys have any other suggestions or things that you've done, please let me know below in the comments. And if you guys do like this video, please like and subscribe, because I'm going to do more just like this in the future. And we will see you next time.